willing. Hi, I'm Ray of Sunshine. I'm so glad you're here with me today. The reason I'm here, you might be wondering, or at least how I got here, is that I'm willing. That's how I get a lot of places, being willing. And I'll tell you more about that. First, let me tell you about my outfit. I think it's very fitting as I transform from the F section, the G section. And the G's for me is about golden age, it's about glowing up, it's about glorious. I think it's appropriate that I be wearing my birthday suit since my video number 1, way back then, all those months ago, was first published on my birthday. My birthday has always been about celebrating getting older up until I was 19. Then I decided that's not for me. Birthdays and other milestone events are for celebrating development, discovery, brightness, boldness, courage. If you've been following me at all during any of this video series, you would realize that back then I didn't exemplify a lot of those, and that's exemplified in the video series. But right now, by the way, and it's been happening, it started happening during the F sections. My iPhone doesn't recognize my face anymore. So I was having trouble all through the F section, and finally today in the G section I'm saying, come on, you know me. It doesn't know me anymore. Figure that one out. It's not just my iPhone that's not recognizing me anymore. Go back to some of those earlier videos. You won't recognize me either. Anyway, being naked isn't something that I've always been very fond of. In fact, not at all. I have some stories in some of those previous videos about how I was born with a pot belly, and I had a pot belly for most of my life. And so I became very aware of that at a very, very young age, and started being ashamed of being naked, of exposing myself. But what this is all about now is exposing myself. So this is an illustration of that process. You know, I think it was back like in the A's or B's section that I was talking about some of my high school experiences and how I got involved with the debate team and the drama club and all that stuff. And I kept wanting to tell the story about how I was involved with the choir, and I never really quite got to it. When I started in the seminary, with the high school and the college were together, and then they split up. So when the high school went its separate way, it was a whole brand new beginning. Instead of being grouped up on the same campus with the college group, so everything was starting from scratch, including the choir. And I kept wanting to tell this story, but back then, in fact, it wasn't until the F section that I started using editing, and the only editing that I did then was to chop off the end of the videos, you know, to leave off the conclusions. But prior to that, every single one of my videos, there was no editing. No, it was in the D's that I started chopping off the conclusions. In the F's is when I started doing some editing. And the reason for that is to get the effect that I wanted. But when I had to keep redoing videos over and over again. If I wanted to make a certain point, you know, it's sort of like, have you ever done this? You go to the grocery store because, you know, I want to get carrots, right? And so you fill up your basket, you get home, you say, oh, that's what I went for, the carrots. Well, this was the same thing when I was making the videos. You know, I say, oh, I want to talk about when I was in the choir. And so I would make a video, and then the video would be all done, and I'd say, hey, I left out the choir story. So I'd make the video over, and these were pretty long videos. These were like 20-25 minute videos back then, the A's and B's, and so if I didn't get it right, I was redoing that video, and so anyway, I did it so many times and ended up not telling about the high school choir, and now I know the reason, because now it's time for me to tell you that story. So this was a seminary, and you know, there was a lot of religious music, and we had masses every now and then, and so the choir would perform at the mass, and occasionally there would be the need for a soloist. That was me. No one else was willing. So I did it, not because I was fantastic. My voice would crack, my voice would wobble, my voice would shiver because I was shivering, but I did it, and I became better at it. As a result of being willing. So I know where willing took me. Right now, I'm in the process of being willing. I don't know where willing is going to take me. Actually, I took I don't know out of my vocabulary. So I'm not sure where willing is going to take me. But one thing I am sure of is that unwilling isn't going to get me anywhere. And by the way, I don't intend to be up in your face for the rest of this video presentation, but I just want you to get a little bit of a close-up of some of the stuff that's going on here and how I am evolving, how I'm changing, how I'm elevating. So that is the how of how I got to be here right now doing this video. I was willing. I'm not here to razzle-dazzle you, although I know I probably do, but that's a whole nother video. Share this video. Send it to some character who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to discover different. Who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to discover different.